With this being the time for parent-teacher conferences, it is also a period of the year when more calls come into a hotline. That's because teachers will begin to notice things that require a call. Brian Mastery in depth on what happens next.
Abuse and Neglect Hotline, this is Mary Lou, may I help you?
Every month,
You said the family has some financial difficulties.
between 6,000 and 7,000 phone calls come in to the Child Abuse Hotline.
What time is she in school today?
When someone reports suspected abuse or neglect, this is the first stop under the umbrella of Project Harmony.
Is there any concerns of any mental health issues with the parents?
Still, experts know that many cases go unreported.
It's a big responsibility to call in. You're concerned about getting somebody in trouble. You're concerned about, is there going to be a retaliation for you making that call? What are they going to ask me? Am I going to know all of the questions or have all the answers?
In Nebraska, we are all mandatory reporters, meaning not just teachers or doctors are required to report suspected abuse or neglect. All of us are, even if we don't have many details to pass along.
It is just differences in parenting, but that's why we encourage people not to make that decision on their own. Call us, call the hotline so that we can make a determination if it is abuse and neglect and make that decision if we would get involved with the family.
After the call, the Project Harmony team gets to work.
Before Project Harmony, kids were taken to the police station.
But Executive Director Gene Klein knew they needed a more welcoming place for children who may have been physically or sexually abused. Their new place, in operation since 2011, is kid-friendly, full of warmth. Just one aspect other cities want to copy.
Prior to this model, it wasn't uncommon for a child to have to be interviewed by 8 to 10 different professionals before some charges were filed.
The child is always interviewed first, but these days he or she just has to tell the story once to a specially trained interviewer of children to limit the trauma.
Our staff actually sit right here on this seat where we're sitting and the child sits up here. It puts them at an eye level with us as an adult, gives them a little more significance in the room, makes them feel a little more powerful.
As the interview takes place, law enforcement, legal experts, social services, those who already have offices in the building, watch on a big screen from a room next door. It makes it feel less like an interrogation for the youngster.
The one-stop kind of shop mentality really does reduce anxiety for kids and minimize the secondary trauma that the system kind of creates for these kids.
You're being so good.
After the interview, a child no longer needs to go to the ER to be examined, as used to be the practice. The doctor's office is just down the hall. Dr. Suzanne Haney also has a better idea of what to look for because the child just talked about it.
It's kind of, they're done with it. They don't have to worry about what's next. Now they can start to heal.
Let's talk about what some of the strengths of the family are to determine whether or not we can do an in-home safety plan or whether we're going to look at an out-of-home safety plan.
Meanwhile, the team gets together for the next 30 days to figure out the next steps for the family.
It's heartbreaking on many levels. Oftentimes, the parents are struggling, they're struggling to parent, the kids have different kinds of issues. We see lots of families struggling with mental illness, substance abuse, families who don't have a lot of support systems.
Did she say what happened?
Children aren't automatically removed from a home unless there's an immediate threat to the safety of the child.
We believe that children are best being raised by their parents if they can do that in a safe environment.
After all, it's about the kids. With photographer Jim Hinchuk, I'm Brian Mastery reporting, WWT6 News.
Many cities have called on Omaha about its all agencies under one roof of a nonprofit approach to see how we make it work.